Hello, this is Gary Malkasian. Just going to share with you my Pecha Kucha, a series of pictures that have something to do with me. To begin with, I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington. I grew up until I was 9 years old on Queen Anne Hill. Back in those days, Queen Anne Hill was quite a bit different than it is today. My parents bought that house, I believe, for $6,000, and they sold it for like $15,000. So yeah, they made a killing. That's $1 million house today just because it's on Queen Anne Hill. My mom would give me money and send me to the store to buy something. This is when I was like 7 years old. And I would walk down the street, cross Queen Anne Avenue, go to the store, buy something, bring it back, give her the change. Nobody thought anything of it. Different town back then. I certainly wouldn't send a 7 year old walking down Queen Anne Avenue today by themselves. I went to the University of Washington. There I studied physics and psychology. That is a view of Drumheller Fountain. And then after college, I went to Romania. Some of you may recall, and maybe some of you are too young to recall, but may have heard about all the revolutions that happened in '89 and became apparent when the Iron Curtain fell, that in Romania there were about 500,000 children that had been abandoned. We say orphans, but really they were abandoned children in orphanages, many of them just being really warehoused with just bare subsistence. So a lot of people went in. I went in with my parents. We started a grassroots organization. I lived there for 6 years, working with humanitarian aid and with volunteers and working with various orphanages around the country. And I met my wife on my first trip in. When I came back to the United States in '97, I had no money, no house, no job, and I was married. I thought, okay, now I got to get serious about my life. I got to do something. I heard there's money in computers, so let's try that. I put that I was fluent in Romanian and able to read and speak German on my resume because I thought it looked cool, not because I thought it would actually get me a job, but it did get me a job. It got me hired on the Pan Euro team for Microsoft Windows 98, testing the Pan Euro version with localized applications. So you never know. I kept it on my resume ever since. And this is a picture of me several years ago. The youngest girl there in the middle, that's my daughter who's going into 10th grade this next year. So that gives you some idea how old this picture is. Me and my wife, and then my three children. All three of my girls are adopted from foster care. My two older daughters in the back, they're both mothers themselves now, and they're both biological half siblings. In 2018, I went back to school and got a degree in computer science from Western Governors University. Western Governors University is an entirely online school. You take classes one at a time, you study, you take the test, and if you don't get it right, then you study some more, study what you missed, and you take the test again. It's competency based, pass, fail. And I managed to get a 4 year degree in 2 years because you're able to accelerate and skip through things you already know and focus on the things you don't. I'm also a member of Toastmasters. I was recently a area director for Toastmasters for a particular area. It's a really good club for learning how to speak, learning how to avoid using uhs and ers and ums. I still do, but maybe not as much as I used to. I'm a big fan of Doctor Who. Some of you know the show. I'm a big fan of Doctor Who. I'm also an avid player of Pokemon Go, although I haven't played it very much since I started this program. My favorite character in Pokemon Go is Machamp. He is probably the most versatile attacker. I am Team Instinct, level 48. And as you can see, I'm a man of many faces. These are all pictures of me. You can see me in clown makeup there for Halloween. You can see me playing Santa Claus. And the Santa Claus picture, by the way, the beard and the belly are real. Okay? I mean, literally, all I have to do is put on the hat, and I look like Santa Claus. And there's some other pictures of me. You see me at a Doctor Who convention. Down at the bottom, you see a picture of me with my two grandbabies at church. And you can see a funny picture of me discovering more classified documents. And this is my inspirational quote. I got this from my chemistry professor, my first quarter at the UW, Professor Crittenden. He said, you can watch somebody ski all day, but you can't learn to ski that way. You can watch me doing chemistry all day, but you're not going to learn chemistry that way. If you want to learn chemistry, you actually have to do chemistry. And that is a lesson I pass on to my students. You can watch me doing code on the board. We can talk about writing programs, but you actually have to write programs to get good at it. Computer science is not just a body of knowledge, it is a skill to be learned. And that is true, I think, of math and all the sciences. Anyway, that is my introduction to myself, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks.